Seth stopped the car because we had arrived. There was no confusion as to which rock was Giant Rock. In the middle of a sandy clearing stood a single enormous boulder, 7 stories high. Beside it sat the chunk that spontaneously cleaved and fell away some 20 years ago. Some said it had been the world's largest freestanding boulder until that happened. The sand was littered with broken beer bottle glass and blackened campfire coals. Giant Rock was tagged with layers of graffiti, which spilled onto the smaller surrounding rocks. Names, hearts, dates. One rock had MAGA 2020 scrawled in red. I said to Seth, "Why do people do that? They see some amazing natural wonder and their first impulse is to deface it." "They want to claim it," Seth said. "We want to feel superior to everything else on Earth," I said, "but this shit just proves the opposite. It's a damn shame," I said, looking around. "Look closer," said Seth. He put both hands on Giant Rock and moved in close, as if listening. He closed his eyes, so I closed mine too. I put my palms against the rough, sharp rock that I had learned from another of John's guidebooks was igneous quartz monzonite. It was considered sacred or magic. Was there a difference? And who was I to say it was not true? Because I could have sworn I felt a jolt from where my hands made contact, up through my arms, into my chest. Did I really feel that? I kept my hand where it was on the rock to be sure. I had heard that this was a special place, supposedly a spiritual vortex at the intersection of ley lines, whatever those were, an access point for extraterrestrials, if you believed in that sort of thing. I liked the idea of believing in aliens, but life on Earth was wild enough for me. Seth opened his eyes and walked some distance away. He sat down in the sand and kept still in the rock's long shadow. After a while, I walked over to join him. He dug a joint and lighter out of his pants pocket. He wore a pair of Dickies work pants he'd picked up at a thrift store, splattered with someone else's white paint. He got the joint going and passed it to me. It smelled delicious and strong, and it was. I drew the smoke into my lungs and held it and then exhaled through my nose, slowly. I sat in the sand and enjoyed the feeling of surfing this moonscape without leaving the ground. I was where I belonged. All my questions, fears, regret, my shame, I drew them with the smoke into my lungs, my body, until I could no longer bear the pressure. Then I expelled everything with a deep exhale. Seth said, "Some people live and die without ever hearing silence this complete." A jet came into view overhead, tiny in the far distance, a long delay between sight and sound. Seth laughed. "Well, there you go," he said, stretching out carefully so he didn't cut himself on the green and brown shards sticking up from the sand. He propped himself up on his elbows. Squinting up at the sky, he said, "I should have listened when you said I was drinking too much. All my life I have listened to the wrong people, starting with myself." I said, "Fuck, I love this rock so much." I was high and suddenly emotional. "She is so breathtakingly, astonishingly big. She is so big that she is sacred. She is huge, enormous. She gets stared at. She couldn't blend in if she tried. Of course, some people treat her like shit. They treat her like something to scrawl their names on or smash bottles against." Seth said, "You think Giant Rock is female?" "Oh, yes," I said.